everybody ready for a revolution.
You are now tuned in to the Revolution Radio.
Like I said, life happened after that for all of us. We all went through our own personal battles and fights, you know, losing mothers and like, so the record was there, always been there. But we knew the potential of the record, but life happened. And now when this happens,
right around the time, right after I lost my father, and he passed in about 2017.
Okay.
And of course, even before he passed, and during that time, I think I'm living life, doing things great. I'm in my mind, wilding, but I've always considered myself, quote unquote, a good dude. For it to come out like that, because in that time when that song was being recorded, this was middle of 2019. Like I told you, my father passed in 2017, and I know, soon after that, C.A.S.H, his mother, had passed away, and he was still dealing with that. And then you fast forward to 2019, my mother's health was on the decline, like quickly, around that time, because my mother ended up passing away in October of 2019. So I'm dealing with that. He's dealing, both of us dealing with the moms. And, not at the time when we're recording this, not knowing that that's what he's going through, him not knowing that that's what I'm going through, but both of us going through it with mom, and it's hurting, but we're putting that energy on the track, and everything. It is just, that's why it would, when you reached out and everything is so passionate, because it's, you were saying those things that we would say about that because we had insider knowledge, but the energy and that spirit comes across on it so that you pick up on it, and it humbles you so much to say, man, only thing I can say is just look at God. Look at God.
Yeah. And this is why I didn't do any research on y'all. I don't like to do research on my guests. I like for my conversations to be natural. I lost my dad in 2019 of May. And so I have been in the grieving process since 2019. And then my grandfather, who raised me as well, passed in 2020 in December. So it's just been a year of his passing. And so, yeah, maybe that's why that song stuck out to me so much to my spirit, because I've been still in that grieving process. I've done work around it. I took the VA offers grievance courses. So I took those classes because I knew that I needed some principles. I didn't want to be 10 years away from now going, I miss my dad. No, I made sure I did the work so I could start that healing process for my soul. Understanding that the transition of this is not the last step for us. This is for the spiritual, eternal life.
Right.
So I understand that spiritual piece, but I was still missing that humanness of my father. And so the education, the personal development courses, all that stuff that had helped me renew my soul taught me we have feelings. You don't have to become them. And so I had to learn how I even talked about my dad passing. I kept saying, I miss my dad. And when you say that, you take on that missing experience and like you wear it. So when I started wearing it like that, I was ready to walk away from all of this. I was done advocating. I was in TV broadcasting school when he passed. And I was like, I'm done. Like when he died, I'm like, I'm done. But that prayer that I shared earlier was my reminder. No. You still got work to do. That's not your life. That's your father's life. Now it's your turn. Now you're the grandfather. Now you need this. And so when I started managing all that in my mind, I was like, okay, let me focus. Let me get it together. I took care of all of his stuff, but I started saying, I experienced missing my dad. I experienced missing him, because now when I don't experience missing him, I could get about my life. Right. So when I experience missing him, I go be with him. I go sit, I go cry, I play music, whatever I need to do in that moment of experience to manage how I'm missing him. And then when it goes away, okay, I got to get back to my purpose. I got conversation. I got life that it's my turn.
Right.
So that has been what I've been dealing with since 2019. And again, by you two sharing about your parents and your mom's passing, man, that has been, and that's how I got on the conversations of honoring our father and mother, and because I had strongholds against my dad for 35 years that he didn't love me. And I grew up like he didn't love me. And no matter what he did, I treated him as such. He didn't love me. I treated my dad crazy. But when I transformed my life in 2011, I discovered what was in the way. It was not him. It was me, who I was being with my dad. And when I asked for forgiveness, I didn't apologize. I said, Dad, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I just thanked him for all the stuff I could think of. And I said, by the way, I made up a story about you. And I realized today it wasn't the truth. And he's like, I just want to spend time with my son. That's all he wanted. Like he wasn't even shocked. Like he was like, I just want to spend time with you. You're my son. And from that moment, I committed from being frustrated and upset and having no patience with my father to being patient, gratitude, acknowledgement, and joy and fun. So no matter what he said, no matter what he did, I remember my commitment to him as my father. And I still got my body sensations, still got upset and frustrated and all that. But I remember who I told myself I was going to be with my father. And I would stop, I would catch myself, and I would say, okay, Dad, thank you. Now, why do you think I should do life like that? What do you think about it? And you know what? Sometimes he didn't have nothing to say. I just wanted to be happy, son. But I used to kill him off. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. We ain't never been married. You ain't never been in the military. You don't know nothing. But being able to renew that relationship in 2011 and the last 8 years of his life was like, I got a new father, like a renewed father, renewed dad. And that relationship was what I was, we were creating and building. And then he took the education and got free from his past and all the stuff that he was carrying in his mind about his parents and all the stuff he grew up around. So that last year, he was free and he was also saved. So I saw how he was committed to church, going, and he would always say destiny and like he always had his, and I didn't really understand it then. I was like, yeah, come on, like whatever. Like, but when he passed, I was like, I get it. Like, he showed me how to live a sinless life. Sinless. He had what he was dealing with in his life, but he always took it to God. He always prayed. He always gave to God, no matter what he was. And I know he was dealing with stuff still, but I saw the example. No, we're not perfect. It's not a perfect walk. But if you continue to pray and give your life and take all that stuff to Christ, you can practice to live a sinless and just learn to start sinning less. And so for you gentlemen to say that about your mom, again, that just reinforces why this just touched my soul and my spirit and the connection that I have to this song and to hear your story. Not even with C.A.S.H, who we have a similar red blood cell condition that just out of a conversation we just talked about, like the trait, like that's my whole, that's why I was born. I was born to deliver this message about sickle cell trait, and I've taken it on. And so, yeah, you gentlemen have truly blessed, increased my faith, increased my walk. You guys have done a lot in this spiritual context for me to understand my journey and to really pay attention to the Holy Spirit, because that is what my commitment is, and to just make sure that I share my story, share my testimony, and listen. And again, like whatever's next, I'm open. But like I said, you guys have really touched my soul.
We've been able to beat each other's motivation, and I feel like God now says, our polishing and molding y'all for this moment. And then just being honest, God sends you who says, I'm going to have somebody in place that's going to hear what y'all heard that night after life happened, because here's really too, and just being honest, I put my glasses on, man, because you had me in tears, fair and like real talk, because December of I lost my, and I had a partner named Bro that was my, like I love my family, but he knew everything about me. I could tell he knew everything. And it was a year this year, December the 28th. He died of COVID last year, December the 28th. And what he said to me was, because I was like, I did a record and I was done with music. But he said, you can't be done. He said, you got to go one more round. And I'm saying this because I thank God for who he is. Right when they hit me about this interview, I could feel in my spirit, like Russell was telling me, bro, you still owe me something. You can't walk away. And it was a year after his death. This was the first year. And all of this happens. I never took, but that I was in tears, not just tonight, but when I first got the first message of this was going down, because bruh said, you can't, basically you gotta do this. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I ain't, because every time I never went nowhere and Brussel didn't go with me. Music, whatever, no meat, no nothing. And I did a show, I call it Ministries now, and I couldn't even finish it because I broke down, because I'm on a stage and I was on TV, it was record, but I couldn't finish because I've never been anywhere that he wasn't there. That was the first time I had been ministering and he wasn't there, and I broke down and I couldn't finish.
Wow.
And now this happens when you said something else, man, when you talked about the grieving, and you just gave me peace a few minutes ago, because you said how you went from the experience in your grief counseling, and that's what I've been carrying for so long with my mom. Because my mom, I didn't meet my dad till I was 43. My mom died in March 31st. We buried her April the 2nd, April the 7th. I met my dad for the first time ever at 43 years old on Thanksgiving after 6 months. But here's the thing. I meet him Thanksgiving. I'm burying him in January. He was leaving Texas to come to Alabama to see me. And he passed on the road, died on the road. What? Coming for the first time ever, we were going to physically see each other. Talked on the phone every day, and he died. And all of these things, man, I've been carrying, and then bro dies and when you said those things a few minutes ago, bro, it was the release of peace that I got in. Like, you just gave me peace in my life with what you said, because that's what I needed. That all of this, I've been grieving for so long, man. And it hurt with bro, because bro was just my man. He never was the bad dude. Like, and the bad dude still here in a sense. And he's gone. You know, Mom passed. You talk to your dad for the first time, and you getting ready to meet him. I'm excited. We talked on the phone every day from Thanksgiving, and then I'm asleep one day, and my phone is just all of my sisters and my brothers from my dad's side is just missed call. And I didn't even want to call back because I'm thinking what's gonna happen. And when I called my one sister back, she said, they just found dad dead and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he was coming here to Alabama. I was going to get this. He was coming to stay a week or two with me so we could just catch up and meet face to face. And when you said that a few minutes ago, bro, it was years of weight lifting up. 3 or 4 years, not just like 3 or 4 years of weight that I've been carrying for the last 3 years. You just basically bench pressed that off of me. Amen. And I could feel a peace when you said that, and it gave me, you can still experience them, but get out of that grieving moment. Like, and man, you like, and that's why I put my glasses on, because I tears start falling while you were interviewing BoneBreaker. So God doesn't do anything by coincidence, fam. Like,
no, not at all.
I thank God for you right now, real talk, because you just helped me receive a level of peace that I hadn't been able to get. That was me. If you knew, bro, you would know, bro. That was my man. Like, I could tell this guy everything. He knew everything about me. Like, and when he passed, man, I grieved, and I've been grieving since. And just that, what you just said, just lifted that weight off of me, bro. So I think
that's God, man. That's the Holy Spirit and God and Jesus, all the Trinity right there, man, is delivering my messages, man. That's it. Yeah. Man, that's deep, bro. That's that Malachi. That's what God gave me, man, when renewing my heart with my dad.
Yeah.
And our fathers is a foundation of the family, man. So I appreciate you for sharing that, man.
I thank you for being obedient. I thank you for being obedient, bro. Like, real talk. Like, because I was mad at my dad. I'm like, why you ain't? And when we talked, man, he had actually. I live in a small town. He had came. He was there. Because the things he explained to me, he would have had to be here to know. But things happened, and God didn't allow it. But I was mad at him for all them years because I didn't know the full story.
Right.
Then when I got the story, it was like, man, you wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, and here it is. I'm talking about I was anticipating. He's on his way. You know, we sit down and we finna chop it up, and and look, phone rang, and he died en route.
Wow.
We had to get his body back to San Antonio, like everything, man. Like, and the first time I saw him physically was in the casket at the funeral home. Yeah, first time ever. I'm talking about ever in my life. I'm 46 now. That happened when I was 43. Like, fourth time ever in my life, that I saw him, and that was in a casket. Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all brothers are deep, man. Y'all touching my spirit, bro.
You are now tuned in to the Revolution Breakdown.